after this message. Press 1 to place a... Please enter your PIN number. After the tone, please say United States of America.
United States of America.
After the tone, please say again United States of America.
United States of America.
You have 1 old message. To listen to your messages, please return to the main menu. Press 0 to make a for calls within the United States. Your account balance is $22.75. The cost of this call will be 21 cents for the first minute and 21 cents for each additional minute, excluding taxes and other applicable fees. The time limit is 15 minutes. Hello, you have a call at no expense to you from
Stephan.
This call will be recorded and subject to monitoring at any time. Thank you for using IC Solutions. You may begin speaking.
Hey,
Hi.
hey.
Yes.
Okay. Anyway, yeah, just getting back to what I was saying, just faith and trust, and, message received.
I guess if there's one thing that we wish for is that you had come to us sooner. That you had come to us and let us know what was going on.
Well, unfortunately, I was suffering from a bit of cowardice.
Yeah, but hindsight's always 20/20, and can't do anything about it now. But this thing,
It's bigger because of it.
it's a bigger problem because of that. And again, not sure what would be any. I'm sure there would be some things different. If you had chosen that path, because there's obviously nothing we could have done without. Well, there's nothing we could have done. I mean, there was only one choice, but we could have talked our way through this. I mean, the phone call that you made to me earlier in the afternoon, if you had at least shared that, we could have talked our way through that and figured out a much better solution than whatever whatever you guys came up with, because none of that was believable. And I was thinking earlier today or yesterday that somehow I feel that you were forced into this, and I don't know, and that's just my speculation, that you were compromised and you were forced to participate in this, and as soon as you got away from the rest of them, you should have called me, and we could have discussed this, and the outcome would have been a lot different than what it is right now. But
I don't want to get your hopes up, and as I said, don't get carried away with any conspiracy theories, but in a way I was compromised, and, when all that stuff was happening, I was not in my right mind anymore.
Yeah, well, I understand that, and that's when you probably should have just called me and said, hey, I've got a bit of a situation here, and
it would have been a rational thing to do, but at that point I was no longer capable of rational actions or thoughts.
Yep, I understand. Yep,
I'm capable of it. I had no control over my faculties anymore. It's like the motor was running, but there was a screaming chimpanzee behind the wheel.
Yeah.
I understand that. I don't understand lack of emotion.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, it wasn't like she was catatonic. She was talking in a normal voice, you know. The only thing that showed any emotion at all was jiggling her leg, but she did that anyway. So
Yeah,
I
it's
just,
just an anxious thing.
yeah, she was anxious because she was lying to her teeth.
Like I
That's
said,
okay.
don't get your hopes up for any conspiracy theories or vast conspiracies. Just understand that anything I did was not done while being within my rational mind. I had snapped at that point.
Okay.
And I wish I had done the correct thing to begin with. You know, I wish I had run downstairs and shaken her awake and called 911 and all that. And deserved a
Well, I
lot.
wish you had too. I wish you had too. Maybe she could have been saved, but
She was beyond that.
Okay.
You know, when someone's that ice cold and just gone.
She was in a different part of the house?
Yeah.
She wasn't with you?
Well, she had gone to be with me earlier in the night, but I left her alone for quite a while I was sort of just walking around and, you know, haunting around the house like I do. You know, sometimes I go out for walks at night, or I just sit on the couch and just fiddle around on my phone, or just, you know, I don't sleep well at night, especially when I've got to be up early and do something the next day.
Yeah.
And that was the case. So every time I realized anything was wrong, it was.
She was in a different part of the house when you found that out?
She was still upstairs.
Oh, she was upstairs. Okay.
Yeah, I left her alone there.
Oh, okay.
I had gone downstairs for a while, and every time I realized anything was wrong, it was just far too late. You know, she'd been gone for a while.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just, you know, just seeing her pale face and blue lips and how ice cold she was, and just created.
That's going to stay with you. Yeah, that's.
Yeah, I remember seeing my brother when he had passed away, and that's the last thing I remember seeing of him. And so.
Yeah, you know, it's just, you can tell.
Yes, you can. My dad, yeah.
It's just, when they're gone, really, really, truly gone, there's nothing you can do. There's no coming back.
Yeah.
No, there isn't.
She was past the point of no return.
Yeah.
Well, I tell you what, given the crazies of the grandmom and already starting to call her a Gordo, she would have been the next one on the list for gastric bypass. But I just think, you know, maybe God just delivered her out of a place that was going to become really bad for her.
I mean, I always knew that life was going to be hard for her. Her mom certainly didn't do her any favors, and since I had no say in the matter of how she was raised or disciplined or anything, there was nothing I could do about it but sit back and watch the train wreck as it unfolded.
Yeah, and she's trying to tell everybody that it was a little angel and she had no problems with her, and you were already telling us that they were butting heads like two Rocky Mountain rams.
Yeah, they had gotten physical on a couple of occasions.
Yeah, I figured they did that again. But okay.
You know, I often played mediator between the two of them because I was the only one that could talk either of them down when they started going at it with each other.
Yeah, I know.
Where were the roommates when all this is going on?
You know, upstairs, you know, doing their own things.
Was all that screaming and yelling and crap going on?
Yeah,
I'm surprised
it's kind of, honestly, it wasn't that far out of place in that house. You know, I was often given to yelling or loud crying or outbursts, and I was given to yelling and screaming and coming down on people. it was happening a lot more and more often, which is why I kept trying to tell you, I think maybe your meds are becoming less effective. It seems like you're becoming more erratic and more unstable. It seemed like the more stable I became, the more unstable she became, like we switched places.
Well, I always told you she was a black hole to need.
Yeah.
Well, there's nothing to do about it now, but what I hate the worst is that she's sitting in a hospital having 3 meals a day, clean sheets, television, access to phone, reading, walking around free, taking a shower by herself, and you're sitting where you are.
Yeah, I guarantee her food's probably a lot better than mine.
Oh, I guarantee there's a lot of stuff that's better than yours.
Well, it'll all come out in the wash.
Yeah, well,
hopefully.
A very, 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 very slim chance of doing anything about any of this, and I'm praying to God and asking for His help to make it possible. But
well, how about giving up the chivalrous part and lay some truthisms on?
What's that?
I said, quit being so chivalrous and protective of. Start laying some truth bombs on her. There's truth bombs there.
Maybe none as groundbreaking or bombastic as you might hope for, but there are some truths there, some ugly truths and some not so pretty truths, but I guess I reacted to everything the way I did because I wanted to shield her. I wanted to keep her from getting any blowback from him, but
you shouldn't have. You shouldn't have, because that left him only one person to lay everything on. That was you.
Yep. And I should have just done the correct thing from the get-go and let the chips fall where they may. But I couldn't stand the idea of losing them both horribly like that. And I lost them both anyway, so it was pointless.
Yeah.
There was just so much agony and so much pain, so much shock and so much trauma. My mind was just not, it wasn't me anymore. I wasn't in control of myself anymore. I was doing things that I wouldn't do. I wasn't acting or thinking rationally. It was just panic and fear and...
Yeah, I can't imagine.
Stephan, I can't help but get the feeling that none of this that was on the phone was a surprise to you.
She was aware that I had certain feelings towards me.
Yeah. Well, then why would she send her in there to sleep with you?
She used to joke about it, call it an electrocomplex. Used to joke and say, you better not leave me for my daughter when she's older, things like that. Laugh about it, and they used to both ogle over me and comment on me and talk about me together and giggle and talk about how nice I looked, and it was not an appropriate situation.
No, it wasn't.
And, I always had an issue with boundaries. She never respected any boundaries that I tried to set. We got in arguments on more than one occasion about the sleeping arrangements, so I, would beg her, please make her go sleep in her own room. And she said, no, it's easier this way for me to wake her up when she's near me. And, it's like we didn't have any privacy and, just didn't have any space to ourselves. And she would suggest, well, maybe you should go sleep in bed instead. And it's like, it's like a twin bed, and I'm, 6+ feet, and why would I want to do that instead of sleeping in our king-size bed, I should have broken up with her a long time ago and just distanced myself.
Oh, hell yeah. Oh, hell yeah.
Should have, would have, could have. Hindsight's always 20/20.
Yeah, it seems to be my superpower. Useless superpower. Captain Hindsight.
Well, you know, you certainly didn't appreciate it when I told you that.
No, I certainly didn't. You know, typical, you know, kid trying to make their own way or have their own ideas and realizing only too late, you know, how valuable their parents' advice really was.
Yeah. Well, this is a shit show that rivals a pigsty.
Yeah, this is not something that you recover from.
None of us will ever recover from this. Ever.
1 minute remaining.
Just not recoverable. Okay, you got your 1 minute warning, and they're probably not going to give you a fourth run at this.
Yeah, someone's screaming in the background right now, too.
Okay, honey, I hear them. So, you going to try to call back tomorrow?
Yeah, I'll see if I can call back in the next couple of days. I probably got about $18, $19 left on the phone account, and I got like 17 cents left in the commissary account.
We'll try to do something about that.
Okay.
When do you need to have the commissary replenished?
What?
When do you need to have the commissary replenished?
Whenever you're able to, I guess. I did get a pad of paper, though.
Nice.
You think of what?
He got a pad of paper.
Oh, okay.
I love you guys, and I'll talk to you in the next couple of days.
All right.
Okay, we love you too, honey. Bye.
Bye.